When someone has this ability to remain at that specific point behind the mind, because the rational mind is not there
Mm.
during this stage between sleep and awake. So somehow we bypass the rational mind that creates all these filters and all these difficulties. So if someone really can hold the awareness, everything changes at
Mm.
that specific point.
Mm. Investigating the wonder of consciousness, the nature of mind, the miracle of the body. We'll talk with elders, lineage holders, seekers, scholars, and practitioners from diverse wisdom traditions to explore the precious convergence of the being, the psyche, and life itself, and how we can use the alchemy inherent to that meeting point for transformation. I'm Laura Karate, and this is the delicate business of being human. Courting the mystery, weaving the story, and bringing it all back home to the body. Dear listeners, a quick and important announcement. The Delicate Business of Being Human podcast is taking a break for the summer. I will be traveling on long train rides and plane rides and with dodgy internet and incapable of continuing to upload an episode a week. So we're going to take a gentle pause and we'll be back on August 27th with Paramita. Enjoy today's episode, and we'll see you again at the end of August. This week, we welcome Yorgos Aryavrat, who is a teacher and founder in Satya Loka Yoga School, based in Greece, to speak with us about Yoga Nidra. Yoga Nidra is a buzzword these days. Everyone knows that it's a kind of yogic relaxation or yogic sleep, but Yorgos is going to speak to us about the nature of what Yoga Nidra is able to offer to us, and it's much more than just relaxation. This possibility that we receive when doing Yoga Nidra of touching very, very deep levels of consciousness. Satya Loka will be offering a Yoga Nidra retreat this September. All the details will be linked, and this is donation based, and you can either participate live in Mount Olympus where they are or online. So let's hear what Yorgos has to say about Yoga Nidra. Welcome, Yorgos. Thank you so much for being here. It's really nice to have you with us.
Thank you, Laura. It's always nice to see
It's
you.
always nice to see you too. So, Yorgos, I'm so excited that you've come to talk to us about Yoga Nidra. But before we dive in, I'm just wanting to share a little bit about you and your path. I know that you and your beautiful wife, Radasi, who is one of my beloved friends, have a wonderful yoga school, and that you're sharing traditional tantric teachings with people. Can you speak a little bit about how you ended up on this path and a little bit about yourself so that people can get to know you?
Yeah, definitely. So I'm Yorgos Aryavrat. I'm a practitioner of traditional tantra and meditation. We have a yoga school with my wife, teaching yoga, also meditation, yoga nidra, and traditional tantra.
Mm.
I'm I'm many years in spiritual path, let's say it. I started from a very young age, and I studied in a deep way the Gnostic Christianity.
Mm.
I have many things that I'm carrying from that practice. Many of the elements that learned during this period also are similar with Tantra. So I'm not feeling that there is something different
Yeah.
as it is. They have many similarities.
So you're able to blend them together in a way that feels,
Yeah, exactly.
yeah.
Complement each other. Let's say it like this, complement each other. Also with Yoga Nidra, I'm doing this practice for many years. The benefits are amazing
Mm.
if someone get deeper. You know, Yoga Nidra is mostly a technique for relaxation. People know Yoga Nidra as a relaxation technique. which it is. Yeah, of course, it is a relaxation technique, but it's much, much more than this.
This is what I wanted to ask you about because I think right now there's a resurgence. But there's been some scientific evidence of how good it is for your system to do deep relaxation. But what I
Mhm.
find a little bit sad about it is that's where people stay, only with the benefits of the relaxation, whereas this practice is so much deeper than that and so much more. So,
How to describe it? I could say, because I don't like the term of a system,
mm,
it's not exactly a system.
mhm,
I can see it mostly as a map.
mm,
It is a map, and the koshas, the body, the breath, the mind, is the terrain. So someone can use Yoga Nidra to get deeper into the existence,
mm.
including everything, including the natural body, the conscious itself. So someone who wants to get deeper in this practice can really experience even the pure consciousness
So would you say it's
itself.
actually it is a practice that can deepen our meditation? Would you say that that's something it is,
Uh,
or
yeah, I can tell you, meditation is a practice which are of using it during the waking
Mhm,
stage when we are awake and in our normal situation. But Yoga Nidra is applied at this stage, which is between the sleep and the wake.
mm.
So something in between. And this stage is really, really important. I could say it's a magical stage because the rational mind is not so strong. On the other side, awareness becomes a little bit different. And if someone has the possibility, let's say it, to move the awareness, I'm not saying to control, I'm saying to move the awareness with the right way, then this will be very, very beneficial to understanding what is awareness and to reach consciousness itself,
Hmm.
passing behind the sleep, passing behind the deep sleep.
Can I
Um,
ask, Yorgos, what is the difference for you between controlling the awareness and moving the awareness?
Actually, we cannot control
Hmm.
awareness. Uh, what we can do is to move it.
Mhm,
And I believe that this is one of the main reasons that we are here. Moving our awareness,
mhm.
moving the body, moving the breath. It's one of the purpose of this life, of
Yes.
this realm. This is what I believe. And also moving the way you see things is the additional. Is something that you can see it through Yoga Nidra. Many people have perfected how to move the body.
Mhm.
An artist can perfect it, his fingers, his hands to create masterpieces. This is something that we can do as humans. But also we can start moving awareness with a specific way which can lead us beyond what we already know,
Hmm.
beyond the waking states, beyond the sleep.
And so you were speaking about this magic between the waking state and the sleeping state. Can you speak some more about that? Why is that state so
Yeah.
important?
Yes, it's a point, it's a stage where we are not exactly in sleep, we're not exactly awake.
Mhm.
So at this specific stage, the rational mind is not working.
Mm.
Probably we are entering mostly into the unconscious and subconscious,
Mhm. Mhm.
where things are formatted. We can see at that point if we can move the awareness, if we can keep alive the awareness, because everyone knows during sleep we're losing awareness. We don't know what is happening. We are passing into the dream, and that's it. But if someone can really hold the awareness, let's say it, during this stage, then he can pass beyond the sleep.
Mm.
He can get deep into the subconscious and unconscious, can pass behind them and be one with the conscious itself, in pure consciousness, in Turiya, as the Hindus describe it.
Yes.
So Yeah, that's why it's important. We can do things that we cannot do at the waking stage.
Mm.
We have meditation for the waking stage. There we can focus, we can fix our awareness at one object and be totally absorbed by it. Or we can use mindfulness, which is another way of moving awareness. But in this specific moment, if someone can hold his awareness alive, then he passes behind.
Mm.
What someone can succeed with Yoga Nidra maybe needs years of meditation. Years of meditation. So that's why it's so important.
So it's a possibility to go through a liminal space which is not normally available for us. Is that what you're saying? And
Exactly.
access
Exactly.
into the pure consciousness, which is where we're in most spiritual realms we're wanting to go, but which requires that we go through a lot of filters. Is that my understanding
Exactly.
correctly?
I think you said something that the filters become more weak. Someone
Mm.
can break these filters and conduct the inner knowledge, the pure consciousness, the existence at itself.
That's really fascinating. Would you say that it also gives us access to those in between states, the subconscious, the unconscious, all of these
Mhm.
realms which are usually more present during our dreams, but we're not there for it, right? We remember like this little fragment of what we dream, generally speaking, and we lose, the whole thread. So what you're saying is we can become more aware in these other states of consciousness.
Exactly, exactly. This is what we're saying. Someone can reach these areas and release things that are existing there and
Mm.
they are unprocessed. So the benefits are really, really many for someone to practice. It's not necessarily to reach the ultimate purpose, which is the pure consciousness, but it can be a healing, a very therapeutic
Mm.
practice that can release traumas, release things that are unprocessed.
And do you feel that it's something that a person goes through in layers? Like first we learn to bridge the gap, right? As the consciousness shifts into these less normal waking states. And then
Mhm.
do we train kind of step by step, like diving? You go deeper. You first learn to go to this step, then you learn to go to this step, then you learn to go to this step, or do we try to aim for the whole thing in one go?
Well, that depends from the person it's doing. The plasticity is different between people.
Mm.
So for some people, it might be something really easy and can go really deep, and some others will be very difficult.
Mm-hmm.
So it depends.
Mm-hmm.
That's why it's not exactly the system. I avoided to use the word
Right.
system because system has specific things that you can do and you can have the result.
Right.
But here it's different because everyone is the neuroplasticity of is totally different.
But I think that's also true of everything that we think is, like every technique, right? If somebody goes into a yoga class, but they've never done anything before, their plasticity of the body will be really different. And something that's easy for someone else is difficult for them. And if somebody goes into the yoga
Yeah,
class and they're a gymnast, it's like there will be different
yeah,
capacities,
yeah, exactly.
right? That we all
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
bring. So
Very well said. Yeah.
so, how does one start to practice this, to train this? How would you teach it? How would it begin to be a practice that someone does?
Well, as I told you, it's like a map
Hmm.
for me.
Hmm.
There are specific things that someone can do that helps him guide it getting in this practice. The stages are well known. It has to do with the rotation, the awareness through the parts of the body, has to do with breathing and counting the breaths, has to do with bringing into the surface the senses and feelings. We're using visualizations with symbols and archetypes
Mm.
that help someone to release things. And as much as someone is practicing and can understand that what really needs is to increase the awareness during the day, because the practice as a practice It will be helpful for sure, but someone has to increase awareness during the day. So there are techniques how to do this, but for sure needs someone to insist to get into this and see it seriously,
So it
and
has
then
to
everything
become a
changes.
practice that someone commits to. They can't just like, "Oh, I'm gonna do Yoga Nidra," and expect once they're gonna reach the Pure Lands.
Yeah. Well, I'm living in the open because for some people might happen.
Yeah,
For some people might happen. So it's not good from the beginning to close this door.
that's for sure.
But generally, for most of us, needs to increase awareness.
Mhm,
This is what we're lacking,
mhm,
and we can understand that.
mhm.
During the day, mostly we are moving inside thoughts and stress and worries and all that stuff.
Yeah,
And we're losing the presence. We're losing the space and the time. As much as we're getting more into the presence, into the space and time at this moment, awareness is getting increased.
mhm, mhm.
So there are some things that someone can do to increase it. This is what we are teaching also during our workshop, which are very helpful for the Yoga Nidra practice.
Mhm. And probably not only, right? They're probably just helpful for being a person who wants to have more awareness in your life
Yeah,
as
yeah,
well, right?
yeah, yeah.
You
That's why when someone, I'm sorry that I'm
No, no,
interrupting you,
no.
when someone has this ability to remain at that specific point behind the mind, because the rational mind is not there
Mm,
during this stage between sleep and awake. So somehow we bypass the rational mind that creates all these filters and all these difficulties. So if someone really can hold the awareness, everything changes
mm,
at that specific point.
mm. Really amazing.
Yeah.
And you spoke about a map. Can you share a little bit more about what this map is like and the terrain that it covers? Is it a map of our psyche? Is it a map of the way the universe is? Like where do we find this map?
Mm. Yeah. It's the map of our psyche.
Hmm.
It's the map of the koshas, how to move using specific practices, stages inside this practice. Let's say it better. That can increase awareness, can minimize the mind, the stream thought, can release senses, feelings that are hold it into the unconscious,
Hmm.
can reach the inner knowledge through the visualization, through the archetypes, through the symbols. So that's why I said it's map, it's steps. It's like this old games. I don't know if you know these games where the children has. They say, yeah, there is a rock there, and if you do 5 steps on the left, you will find something else, a tree, and then you go some something this like this map.
Right,
It's not an accurate map, yeah,
right.
with satellites.
Totally. And and
Yeah.
so I'm wondering if you can speak a little bit about the koshas, because you mentioned them a few times, for maybe people that don't know what you're referring to, if you can just give us an overview, perhaps, of the different koshas.
Yeah, I mentioned the kosas because I thought that many of the people who might hear it are people of yoga. But let's say it, I will simplify it. Let's say that it's layers of our existence,
Hmm.
the layers of being. So for sure, we know that we have a physical body. Yeah, everybody knows. We all know that we have the breath, the prana, the vital energy. Hmm? And also we can feel and see it. We all know that we have the mind, thinking, the rational mind and the analytical mind. We all know that we have compassion and wisdom, that it is inside. Everyone has these experiences. So these are the causas actually.
Hmm.
And I said this is the terrain because this is where Yoga Nidra is applied.
Yeah. And I like the way you said that because it's true. We know that we have compassion at our core, and sometimes we can't find it, right? Like sometimes there are filters, there are obstacles in front, and you're like, I don't care right now because
Yeah,
I'm stressed and there's a lot on my mind. And so the koshas that are closer to the body are more active,
yeah,
and we
exactly,
can't get
exactly,
in. So yoga nidra is a way for us to get access to these deeper layers, right?
exactly.
And how has it been for you personally working with Yoga Nidra? What have you noticed in your life? What have you experienced with this practice that you feel that makes you feel so, maybe a better question is why this? Like why is this something that you're passionate enough about to make courses on, to commit to teaching to? What has it meant to you? What has it been for you?
For me, it's an exploration, actually. I see it as an exploration. And exploration means that someone is searching for without knowing and has to test and experience. And I find it really exciting
Mm.
to move awareness, as I said at the beginning, and what this can bring. The benefits are many. The understanding also is totally different. The way that someone can see life is totally different because he knows things that we are not getting in because we are so focused on our worries and our mindset and our thought stream.
Hmm.
So if someone don't take so seriously all that stuff and start seeing what is behind, then this is very beneficial.
Mm. Do you feel like that's a kind of key to not take it so seriously? Like when you're having thoughts. No, but I think it is, right? Like, because we have thoughts and we're like, oh, yes, this. And and we get so embroiled in it. And sometimes it sounds like a discipline, right? Like, don't attach to your thoughts. Don't, but I like this idea of like, just don't take them so seriously. Like, they're not that.
Yeah, exactly, exactly. If someone can understand that the state of mind changes
Mm.
and changes so rapidly,
Hmm.
then for sure he will start not to take seriously what he's thinking.
Yes.
It is not difficult to realize that there are some moments, for example, we feel so tired and so difficult to do anything, and something is changing around, or we have a phone call, or we do an exercise, and then the energy is there, and we're feeling clear and active, and everything changed. You know, the body doesn't change anything; it was in the same time, space time, in the same timeline. This is what I mean that the mind changes all the time.
Hmm.
What we're thinking is not so
Yes.
serious because it might change.
Right, because it's not permanent in any way, shape, or form, right? It's always shifting. And what do we find then when we get behind the mind? What is there?
Uh,
You spoke about
you feel
archetypes, you spoke about
like,
symbols, so there was a lot of things that you touched on, and I'm just curious, like what one can imagine or expect or potentially.
if someone can really goes behind the mind, then consciousness is there.
Mm.
This is the goal. Meditation is doing this.
How do
We're
you,
trying to go behind the mind
how do you define
to by
consciousness?
ah,
Because
ah.
many people will say, like, I'm thinking about it, I'm conscious of it, right? Like, so
Mm,
what is the differentiating factor between awareness,
how can I
consciousness,
say it?
mind?
It's always it's always difficult to these
Mm.
definitions on that things. I would take this that it is this specific energy fields that moves everything.
Mm.
That element that keep us alive,
Hmm.
that is united with God or with the universe, with cosmos, that we unite us with the other people.
Yes.
To give a definition is not an easy
No,
thing.
it's not an easy thing. That's why I'm asking you, because I always try
And
to
you know,
find one. Maybe you have one.
and you, and you know why? Because it's behind the mind.
Mm.
It don't belongs to the mind. So the mind cannot give a definition
Yeah.
because it's not belonging to what the mind can do.
Yes.
But everyone can understand.
Yes.
Everyone can understand. And everyone can understand that this is not coming through the mind. To many people may happen that they might filling a form in an office, in a bureau, and he's focused on filling the form, what it needs to write on. But he's aware of what is happening outside because there is a noise, and he can also hear the noise. But his mind is on filling the application. So that element is what we're saying consciousness, awareness. Someone is sleeping and the next morning he knows if he slept well or not. Yeah. How can do that if you're sleeping? Because awareness is there.
Yeah.
Awareness is property of consciousness.
Awareness is
So
the property of consciousness. Okay.
yes.
No, I like that. I like that. And so how do you know, right? If the mind can't grasp it, there's the mind, it's doing its thing, you get behind it. How do you know you're behind it? What is the experience of that like?
This is something that someone has to find it.
So
This is what we're
is it different for everyone, would you say?
it might be different, yes. Different. Because also now we're getting in more details and might confuse people.
Right.
But also awareness has different stages. There are different stages of consciousness also. So it's better to keep it simple, that if someone can bypass the rational mind, for sure consciousness is behind. Now, what exactly is gonna understand of that depends. It's not one simple thing. What we can say is that he will feel home, like returning home, like being home. There is nothing to worry about, nothing to think about, nothing to want, to desire, because he's there and full. This fullness, this feeling of fullness, of nothing more needed, is consciousness.
Yeah.
Let's say it is one definition.
It's a good one. It's a good one. So what do you find? You spoke about meditation as kind of being the waking practice and Yoga Nidra as a training ground. We move through the koshas, we move through, and you spoke about the different stages of sleep. Can you maybe touch on those? What that is, the difference between the waking consciousness and this deep, deep place, the stages that come between. If there's anything you can say.
Yeah. The yogic system describes it really nice because it describes 4 stages of consciousness. They are speaking about the waking consciousness we have in our daily life. There is a dream consciousness, the sleep consciousness, where we are dreaming and have all these dreams, desires, and things. There is the deep sleep stage, where the mind is not there anymore and only some basic instincts remain. It is very, very close to what consciousness is. And then is Turiya, which is the pure consciousness in itself. So that's how the stages are. So someone can be behind the sleep, meaning that he can be aware of dreaming. He can understand that he's dreaming. He can see his dreams. He can remember what he's doing. He can feel his existence while he's sleeping.
And we've probably all had that, right? Where you kind of wake up in a dream and you're like, oh, I'm dreaming, but you're still dreaming.
Yeah. Everyone has these experiences. Everyone.
Yeah.
The deep sleep also, it's something that everyone passing through. The first 3 hours of sleep is in a very deep sleep. So that's why we cannot remember dreams there, because the mind is there.
And I think science usually says that's the deepest state, right? Like that's where we need to go. If we don't get our deep sleep, we don't feel refreshed, even if we slept for a long time, right? Like
Exactly.
that there's a kind of shallow sleep as well, right? Where we're kind of active and dreaming. And if we wake up after that, we don't feel rested.
Yeah, exactly.
But yoga would say there's another level after that, right? And so everybody gets to the third stage, right?
Everybody, yes.
Does everybody get to the
The most
fourth?
everybody. I think only those who have problems with sleep maybe don't, but most of the people have.
Mm. Mm. And what about the fourth stage? Does everybody get to the fourth stage as well?
No,
Hmm.
no, no.
So can you speak
It's
a
not.
little bit about how that's different?
Mm. Well, being into consciousness, it's something that you cannot speak about because the mind is not there
Right.
to notice.
Mhm. Mhm.
Mind is not there to notice. So, what you are understanding there is not something that you can bring back.
Mm.
That's why nobody can tell you because it's not belonging to the mind. If someone passed behind the mind, so the mind, what can say about it? It's not there.
But is there something that is brought back, even if it's not brought back and quantifiable by the mind? That doesn't mean we don't have it or we don't touch on something, that there isn't something that we can.
Yes, it is something that you can bring back, and this is the feeling of fullness and
Mm.
satisfaction
Mm. So nothing short of
and just
like
being.
being in happiness, which is what everybody's kind of looking
Exactly,
for,
exactly,
right? So,
exactly.
so it's happening
This
in
is
your
something
sleep.
that can bring back from there.
Mhm.
This is definitely.
Mm. So I'm just curious about this one point that you said everybody has the third, but not everybody has the fourth. Why? What would differentiate between a person who, or a moment in a person's life where they would have the third stage, but not the fourth stage, and then a moment when a person would have the fourth stage?
It's a deeper level. It's not approachable.
Mm.
Until the third, the mind is there,
Mhm. Mhm.
Not in the rational way, but in a form of an instincts,
Mm.
basic instincts. The reptilian mind, how can I say it? The brain, sorry,
Yeah.
the reptilian brain.
Yeah.
The very basic, it's still there. So it is a part of us. It's easy to see it. But passing behind is, how can I say it? As an example, it is like getting out of the old Windows is an operational system, yeah. But also there was the DOS system where all the commands are there
Mhm.
behind. So if you get out of the Windows system, the operational system, the DOS remain where all the commands are there.
Mm.
I don't know if this is
So
something
it's like just the
easy to.
code that's behind, right? Is that,
Yeah, exactly. You're just behind the code.
and if you don't know how to read the code, what can you do with it? It's just raw
Uh,
information, right?
yeah, this is the exploration. This is the exploration.
Very
Someone can
fascinating.
can find
Mhm.
can find
Mhm.
the knowledge is inside us. The knowledge is inside us. We all have an inner knowledge.
Yeah.
When we access it, everything is simple and everything takes its own place.
I really like this analogy because there is code, right? There is code behind this system that's running the system that I don't see it. I don't know how to adjust it. I couldn't read it if it was in
Uh,
front of me. But there is a kind of code, right? There's DNA, there's past
exactly.
experiences, there's a whole thing that's running the system that I don't have access to. And I wonder if you think, and this might be a far stretch, but that that's a moment where the code can be changed or there some
Yes.
adjustment can happen. You do think that? Wow.
Yeah, definitely. Definitely things can change.
Because if the part of me that can reach the code can probably adjust the code, right? Like if I get behind the mind enough to be in that room with the like computing systems. It's really
Yeah,
fascinating. It's a really.
yeah, this was an example on what we are saying. But as I said before, it's difficult to give analogies and definitions on that stages,
Of course. Yeah.
It's not easy. So, yeah, if someone just try to keep the awareness between the sleep and the awake stage, this is a big success. The others are coming.
Mm. Mm. Right. So it's a succession. And it's such an interesting thing to do as you try to fall asleep, like to just be like, all right, can I stay aware? And you can actually witness yourself, like you witness a kind of shutdown and something falling asleep and something can stay, which is like
Yes, yes,
a
exactly.
kind of functioning that
Of
you
course,
wouldn't think the consciousness
yes.
has.
Of course, it's not the same consciousness as we have here, but it's still a consciousness.
Yeah.
So you can notice, you can see what is taking place. Yeah, definitely.
Are there any little ways like this that people can start to play with amplifying the awareness and amplifying the consciousness so that access into the dream state can become more possible?
I would say it a little bit different. Even if you go to sleep and you go with a better way in sleeping, it's also a very important thing.
Hmm.
If you don't succeed anything of all that stuff, but if you can have a really nice and pleasant sleep, this is very, very important also.
Yes.
So if you notice, the most of the people when they're going to sleep and they're relaxing, then the thought stream is coming and filling with thoughts, until you become very tired and the sleep is coming.
Mm.
Many people suffering from this
Mm.
because they cannot relax, they cannot allow calmness and rest to come and have difficulties. A good sleep, a nice sleep is very important in life, even if nothing of all what we're discussing here is happening.
Yeah. Yeah. We'll take it, right? Like still a victory. Still a victory,
It's still a
but it's also it's very I think it's very important to take it as a whole, right? Any practice, right? Like meditation can be amazing for diminishing anxiety, can be. And that's beautiful. And it's beautiful to practice it like that. But meditation as a whole is something else, right? It's not just a tool for
definitely,
anxiety. So the same thing
definitely.
with Yoga Nidra. It's amazing if all we get is a really good sleep. It's like everything.
Yes.
That's a great benefit. But it's good for us to know what it is really, like
Mm.
what the depth of the practice can bring to us.
Yes. Yes.
This is because it's so much more than just relaxation. It's an encounter with the possibility of touching very deep aspects of yourself, which are not just aspects of ourselves, they're aspects of reality also.
Exactly.
Yeah.
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 This is very beautiful.
Well said.
It's very beautiful. So when you teach, what's the format that you use to get these practices to people? Is it a long term? Is it a short term? What's the best way for people to, or what's one way? What's the way you've
Well,
chosen?
yes, it's a practice that the duration is around half an hour, 40 minutes, 45 maximum,
Hmm.
I would say. Passing through the different stages of the practice, which is 7, 8 different stages. And this is the technique. It's not something that takes time, so much time. It's not a technique that someone has to do something. I can say that it's a practice of doing nothing.
Hmm.
Surprise, yes, yes, like that. Just relaxing, keeping the awareness strong. That's it. Nothing.
Mm.
Nothing is needed to do.
Mm.
So there are specific stages in this practice. This is what we're teaching.
Hmm.
This is the elements of the map.
Yeah.
And someone can have these stages doing it by his own, giving the instructions himself, or he can have an instructor, someone who is guiding this practice.
Hmm.
I think the most common is that there is always an instructor, someone who is bringing the stages and
Mm.
guiding through that.
Mm.
But it's not necessary. The most important is when someone can do it to himself, herself, without mediations.
Yeah. And that just brought a question for me that maybe you can answer. I was always taught that Yoga Nidra was ancient. It was going back to ancient times. Do you have any ideas about the history of Yoga Nidra? Is this actually an ancient practice? Has it been around for a long time, or is it just an adaptation of meditation that is more modern?
Yeah, it was mentioned in the Vedas as a yogic sleep,
Mm.
as a specific state of sleep, not exactly as Yoga Nidra as we know it today. By the way, Nidra in Sanskrit means sleep, so it's yogic sleep.
Mhm.
Hmm?
Mhm.
It is mentioned in Vedas, which coming from the very old times. It is mentioned also in Mahabharata, where Arjuna, before the big battle, went to sleep and he saw the whole battle in front in his dream. Yeah, it wasn't a dream; it was a Yoga Nidra. So he saw all the movements of the enemies and what he could do and how he could pass. And when the next morning the battle started, he already knew
Mm.
what is going to happen.
Mm.
So this is the thing. It is mentioned like this. Also, don't forget, it's the state of God Vishnu. As meditation is the state of Shiva, and we know Shiva is always meditating,
Mhm.
Vishnu is in a sleep, in a deep sleep. He's lying under his seven-headed snake in the deep sea and he's sleeping. But his sleep is not the dreaming sleep as we have it. It's the Yoga Nidra. So as you can understand, it is mentioned, of course, but it's not mentioned as meditations.
I mean, but the state of Vishu is kind of no joke, right? If it's mentioned as as the state of one of the three kind of guiding
Exactly,
factors of the
exactly.
universe.
It's a form, yeah. It's a form of existence.
Yeah.
During the modern days, I think the Bihar school, Satyananda developed it. He also put some elements of more scientific elements inside. Swami Rama also did a great job with Yoga Nidra. And actually, he was one who put it in a scientific way because he was the experiment.
Mm.
They put these electrodes in his brain and see how he was passing and what is happening to his brain. So knowledge came from that.
Mm-hmm.
And also, it's not only a technique that comes from the East. It was also well known in the West with different ways,
Mm.
but similar.
Like where?
Uh,
I've never heard of it coming from the West. So there's historical precedent for sleep meditation, we could say, in the West as well.
yeah, somehow you can. Even Jesus set the stage because he said to be awake and get in prayer.
Mm.
Yeah, become awake, become aware, and pray.
Mm.
This was what he said, and this is what we are doing in Yoga Nidra. This exactly is what we are doing. We remain awake before we get in sleep, and we have the intention, the prayer,
Mm.
to go there and see what is behind,
Mm.
to be with God, with consciousness. This is it.
Beautiful. Beautiful. And Yorgos has offered to give us an actual practice that we can do at home. We're going to separate it from the episode because, if you're driving, it's not a good time to be practicing Yoga Nidra. So we're going to separate that into a little annex. But this has been really, interesting. Yorgos, do you have any last things that you'd like us to know, things that I didn't think to ask about that you find are important about the practice of Yoga Nidra?
No, I think we said many good things today. I want to say that maybe someone of the people who are hearing might interest in. We're organizing a workshop in Greece every summer, but also we're doing an online
Yes.
workshop, which is actually in donation base. because our purpose is not to make money from these things, but to benefit people, to show them ways that they can be benefited. Our next online Yoga Nidra workshop will start at September, and it will be divided into 3 months period until mid of November, where we will get into the practice and understanding what is happening with Yoga Nidra. So maybe someone is interested about this, and it's good to know. Now, I want to share with you all a 10 minutes practice of Yoga Nidra. It's a very short one. It's very easy to do it alone, in any place, when you can be isolated somehow, relaxed, in a place that nobody will disturb you. No need to lie down necessarily, but you can use also a couch or a comfortable chair about. This short practice will bring you rejuvenation and refreshment that is equalized with 2-3 hours of sleep.
Wow.
And it's something that you can see by yourself, the benefits of this small one. So I would like to share with you.
Perfect. We're going to actually close this so that we have a separate recording. So if people want to go back again, they'll have it, where they can just find it like that. So thank you so much, Yorgos, for all that you shared. This was really, really beautiful. And
thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you, Laura.
Thank you. And so we'll stop here and then we'll... Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.